Welcome back to Sky's Cajun Kitchen. Today we're going to do something that isn't Cajun. We're going to go back to my childhood. I lived in New Mexico for a while and I was practically adopted by the Mexicans next door, so I learned to eat really good home-cooked Mexican food. Today in the kitchen we're going to do some pork finger, or country ribs as they're known, tacos, some homemade Spanish rice from scratch, and some black beans, refried. I guess you call them refried black beans. They're going to be all mashed up and stuff. But actually they was cooked in a crock pot and I've already got those cooked. I was going to use canned beans and I was digging through the cabinet and I found me a bag of dried black beans and I'm like, what the heck? Why not go ahead and just make my own? Which I did. But anyway, today we've got two little country style, or as I call them, pork fingers. We're going to season those up, marinate them for a while in the icebox, and then we're going to get started on our other ingredients. Now, first thing is, of course, the Prudhome's Meat Magic. Going to sprinkle them liberally with that. On all sides. I know that's not a traditional Mexican seasoning, but hey, I'm still a Cajun at heart. Put a little of that on there. And for the rest of it, I'm going to go ahead and put them in a little plastic bag. Let me grab that. Stick them in this little vacuum seal bag, and we're going to vacuum seal them so them flavors get really pulled in there. Dump that little bugger in there. Go wash all that off my hands. Okay, next we got some cumin. Throw some of that in there. And y'all know me, I don't measure nothing, hardly ever. Well, that ain't gonna work. That's not putting enough. Now watch me put too dang much now. Of course with cumin, it's kind of hard to put too much. I got a good little bit in there. That ought to do. We got some paprika. I don't have the fancy Spanish paprika, just the, well, this is Spanish. I don't have that other fancy type of paprika. We're going to throw some of that in there. About as much as I did the cumin. Alrighty, got that in there. A little bit of thyme. You know me and that thyme. I like my thyme all the time. Not too much at a time, just a little tiny bit. And some Cholula chipotle sauce, hot sauce. Want a little bit of bite to this. Though this stuff is not hot at all, really. I'm gonna dump a good little bit in there. I had a whole bottle. What's left of it anyway. Didn't have too much left in there. I'm gonna have to give me some more of this one. I like this. I got several flavors. Put that to the side. I'm going to dump us a little bit of lime juice. Just a few sprinkles just to wet it up good. And some olive oil, just regular old olive oil. I'm not using the fancy stuff, though I do got some. Just a bit in there. Comme ci, comme ça. All right. I've also got my stove preheated to 350, and my oven is preheated to 350, and I got my stove on low on my griddle skillet, because when we make that Spanish rice, we're going to go ahead and we're going to char some garlic and some serrano and some onion, and let's mix all this around, and we're going to use that in the Spanish rice. Now I know you probably can't see all that, but take my word for it. So that's in there. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna vacuum seal this and put it in the ice box, and I'll be back. Okay, we're ready to start on that Mexican rice. I got all my ingredients laid out. Got a cup of long grain rice. I've got a half of a Vidalia. You can use a small yellow onion if you want. I got 2 little cloves of peeled garlic, 2 serranos, one which we're going to put in whole, one which we're going to chop, an ancho chili pod, some tomato paste. Now, you can use a Roma tomato and char that also, but I didn't feel like going to the store to get one, and I'm not much of a vegetable eater, so I don't keep that kind of thing around. We got some cumin, some paprika, and the secret ingredient is caldo con sabor de pollo. I hope I pronounced that right. I'll try to get that in close so you can see that. And it's basically, it's like a chicken bouillon, but it's not the same because it doesn't work like that. And what we're gonna do is first we're gonna char our vegetables up, and I'm gonna chop that chili pod up. Then we're gonna brown the rice, add some tomato paste, the pollo, the seasonings, and all this, and then cook it. And of course, this is all going to be done in a cast iron skillet. So I'm pretty much ready to go. Let me go ahead and get those vegetables charring and move my camera there because I'm by myself today. So I have to keep stopping and move my camera and all that. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're at the stove and getting ready to do these vegetables here. I got my peppers. I'm gonna cut the stems off afterwards. Just throw them in there like that. And I got that fire about medium. My 2 garlic cloves. Toss them in there. I like that little grilled skillet there. And I forgot to cut my onion ends off, so I'm gonna do that right now. And go ahead. That's probably a little more onion than I need, but hey, it's gonna work. We'll go ahead and we're gonna let that cook a little while. And while it's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna chop up that chili pod there. And then we'll come back and we'll check on this. Well, them vegetables seem to be charring pretty good there. Look at that serrano. We're going to flip them over. Got to get them done on all sides there. So I'll flip that little bad boy over. Flip the garlic. Oh, yeah. The garlic's nice. That onion's looking good. I think I'm going to flip it on its big side like that. Got a little piece that got away from us, and do that. And at the moment, in my mixing cup here, I've got 2.5 teaspoons of the caldo bouillon. I've got 2 tablespoons of the tomato paste. And like I said, you can go ahead and you can char up a tomato, but I didn't have one, and I'd have done it that way. And then you put it in the blender. I'm still chopping up that ancho, and I've discovered it don't cut with a knife. You got to use scissors on that booger. So I got my water hot. We're gonna go ahead and put about 1 3/4 cups of water. If I can see my little lines. Oh yeah, 1.5. That's close. That's close. Want to wash that spoon off. Well, back over that end. Get all that tomato pasty goodness out of there. Stir things around. And it just don't want to seem to come out of there. Come on, come on. All right, that's as good as we gonna get. Let me get my little whisk and make it sure it's really mixed up. I don't know how well you can see this, but that's done. Now you could have put that tomato paste in when you put the rice and the water and all that, but I find it works a little bit better if you dissolve it first. That way you don't get any lumps and stuff. These vegetables are charring pretty good. Oh yeah. We still got a little ways to go on them. So I'm gonna continue cutting my my ancho over there, and I'll come back. Okay, most of the vegetables are done. I've got my ancho cut up. There's my garlic. Don't know how good you can see that. We'll go ahead and just mince that like that. A little bit more. Be careful not to cut my finger. A little tip I'm gonna give you. Like I said, I had to use scissors on those chili pods because they wasn't cutting with a knife. They're like rubber. Wear gloves. That stuff will stain your fingers. All right, we got that done. Look how easy that cut. These are charred really nice. Don't need a stem in there. I probably could have de-seeded these, but hey, and I'm gonna leave one just like it is. Yeah, if I can get some of them seeds out, I might, but I ain't gonna worry about it too much. That's all chopped up. Still got my onion on there. I had to break that apart because it just wasn't charring too good. I'll let it go a little while longer, and then we're gonna come and cut that up. Then we'll get started on browning up that rice. So I'll be back. Okay, those onions about as charred as they gonna get. I went ahead and added another little bit of water to make this an even 2 cups. Now you can use a food processor for all this. I'm just gonna put them in like that. Let them hydrate a little bit in there. Gonna chop up them onions. Now, if you don't like it kind of hot, you can take all those seeds out the serrano first. I don't mind it, so. And I'm the only one eating this. I'm by myself today, like I said. Chop that up fine. Throw all that in that water. Water. That's actually stock and tomato paste. You know me, I don't hardly use water for nothing without adding flavor to it, except maybe drinking. I don't care for no flavor in my drinking water. Alrighty. Yeah, that was probably a bit much onion. I don't know if I'm gonna put it all in there. I'm sure I could find a use for the rest of it. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna use the pieces. That I used that I cut up, took off to char it better, and I'm not gonna use that core part. I'll find a use for that in something else. See if I can do two at once. Oh yeah, my knife's sharp. Look at that. Oh, nice and cut up. Into the broth you go. Y'all can get cut a little bit more. Mix that around and see what I got. I know what I got right here, a mess. Okay, well, I done switched skillets out. My other skillet's heating up right now. I see that all starting to boobly. I got just a little bit of olive oil in there. I might add a little bit more before I throw in the rice. But I'm going to go ahead and clean up my mess and move my camera and meet you back at the stove. Well, like I promised, we're back at the stove. And I'm going to add just a little more olive oil to this, just to coat the bottom good. And get my cup of rice. And we're just going to pour that in there. And you got to stay on this. This is kind of like a roux. You're going to have to be stirring constantly. And it's going to gradually, and I got my fire about not quite halfway. And this is going to take a bit. Now, if I'd have had some vermicelli, I'd have thrown that in there because that box mix, the rice-a-roni, it's got vermicelli in it, and I really like that. But I didn't have none, so I ain't putting none. I don't really know how long this is going to take. Just to turn that fire up a little bit more so it don't take just quite as long. Trying to see there, my eyes, they ain't so good. My dadgum little stove light, it doesn't burn out, so I'm gonna have to get me another one of those. Making it a little bit difficult to see. Along with other things I may or may not have ingested. I can hear that starting to sizzle now. And it's starting to smell. Oh yeah, it's starting to smell good. Wait for it to start turning. Let it sit a little bit. You know, there's still a few kernels of rice that ain't quite coated in oil. Yeah, I see some brownness coming. Get that more on the fire there. Alright, you uneven son of a gun. Now, I could have thrown my cumin and my paprika, and I'm also going to put a little bit of oregano in there. Or oregano, if you want to call it like that, but I'm going to do that once I get the rice brown and the water in there, and I'm just gonna put the seasonings in then. Well, at least that's what I'm telling you right now. I may change my mind and just throw it in the water with everything else. We'll see. But I think I'm just gonna throw it in, put it in once I get my water in, because I want to see how much I'm putting. I can judge better when it's in the... Yeah, we're starting to get a few little toasty kernels here. Oh, that little noise, kind of like fingernails on the blackboard. Kind of almost irritating, you know? What's not going to be irritating is eating that. And don't worry, I haven't forgot about my pork fingers. We're going to put them in the oven. It's already at 350. It's been that way a while. I probably started it way too soon. We're going to put them on a little cooking rack in the oven. Cook them about 20 minutes. So they ain't going to take long. Do that after I get the rice going. Once I get that lid on the rice, and because this is going to take it about 20-25 minutes to cook. Look at that now, she's turning brown. You can see it starting to toast up now. We're going to get them all nice and brown. They got a good little suntan on them. I think I probably could have used just a hair more olive oil, but this will work. Yeah, now she's starting to brown. See a little smoke coming off of there. And we're not going to have to put no salt in this because that caldo de pollo is salty enough, I'm pretty sure. If it's like any of the other stocks I've used before, it'll add enough sodium in there. You don't... That's why you hardly ever see me put salt in anything, because I use a lot of stock. And that stock's got a lot of salt in it. Oh, I say a lot, but it's got salt in it. Almost there. We're getting close now, folks. Oh, and we're making a mess. A little overzealous on the stirring. Almost there. A little bit more. I don't want to overdo it, but I think it's time to turn that fire down. Because some of them kernels are getting really brown. Still see a little few white ones there, so we're gonna keep going until we got as many of them brown as we can without burning the rest of them. Oh yeah. Woo! My glass is falling off my face. See that? That's a nice pretty brown there. That's pretty much where we want it to be. So I'm gonna reach over here, grab that serrano, and throw that bad boy in there. And we're gonna get a little cup. Uh-oh. Stand back, Jack. All right. And that's 2 cups of water I just put in there. We'll bring that up to a boil. Stir that around a little bit. Put our seasonings in there. And bring that up to a boil. And get our little cumin. Ooh. You know what? I might actually measure it this time. And I'm thinking a teaspoon ought to do it. Because I'll be shaking that on there and big old clumps gonna fall in there, and then they're gonna taste like chili instead of Spanish rice. Try to get some. Come on now. Don't fight with me. I'm not in the mood for that. Alright, try again. Alright, 1 level teaspoon of cumin. Yeah, it's better off if I measured it that time. Paprika ought to be a little bit easier. At least we hope so. Oh yeah, that was a lot easier. Then gonna add some red to it also. And I reach in the little pantry there and dig out our old oregano. Where you at, oregano? There you go. Oregano leaves. And we're just gonna lightly sprinkle a little bit over the top. Comme ça. And you see that water starting to boil right now. Stir all them seasonings around in there. Get them incorporated. Let me turn that fire to high, get that boiling. Reach over for my lid. Set it down over here. I keep moving my dadgum skillet off my fire there. Alright, she's starting to boil. Once it comes to a good boil, then I'm going to go ahead and put that lid on and turn that fire down to low. Kind of like making a jambalaya, you know. Kind of similar. Make sure nothing's sticking. Okay, looks like we got a good boil going on that whole pot. I'm going to put that fire down to low and put that cover on there. And let me check. 20 minutes from now, we're going to come back and turn it off and let it sit a minute, and this rice will be done. Let me regroup. I'm going to clean up my mess and get my meat out, and we're going to throw that in the stove. I'll be back in a minute. All right, we're back with our pork fingers here. We're going to go ahead and take them out of a little marinade and put them on this little baking rack. I like to use baking racks. I coated that pan with foil because I don't like to clean stuff no more than I got to. Oh, look at that. That's so pretty. Lay that one down like that. And I love these little Ziploc vacuum seal bags. They make life so much easier. All right, well, I'll throw this in the sink, wash them old gloves off. All right, I'm back. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my oven. Like I said, it's at 350, and we're gonna set that timer for 20 minutes. Then we'll check them with a meat thermometer and make sure that they're at the right temperature. I think it's 145 for pork. I ain't gonna swear to that. Yeah, we'll put them at 20 minutes, and if they need a little more time, we can always put them back on. In the meantime, let me go out of camera range again and get something to show you. Whoa! Hopefully I didn't knock that thing too askew. Let me go move that back again. Okay, yeah, I kicked it with my foot when I was getting my crock pot out. Last night, like I said, I made my black beans, cooked them in my crock pot overnight. And let's see if you can get a good look in there without me spilling the beans, so to speak. I might take the camera off and give you a better shot later. But anyway, I soaked the beans for about 3 hours. Normally you'd soak them overnight, but I wanted to cook them overnight. And here's what I did. I put a half a pound of black beans, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of chipotle roasted garlic, a half a tablespoon of Cholula chili garlic sauce, 2 bay leaf, half a tablespoon of cumin, half a tablespoon of paprika, half an onion, 1 large jalapeno, half a tablespoon of caldo de pollo, and 4 cups of water. Then I cooked that approximately 12 hours overnight. They got a little bit of juice left in them. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put that half of that, about 3/4 of that, in my blender and blend it up. Now I'm gonna have to go get everything set up to do that, so I'll be back. Okay, I got the Vitamix out. Now I'll be honest with you, I've never done this before in my life. So it's kind of a trial and error. I'm hoping there's enough water in there, and I got a scoop. I want a few of them still whole, you know. Oh, I done made a mess already. I can take out them bay leaves if I can grab them. Alright, I don't know if you, well, I was going to show you these beans, but I'm scared I'm going to drip all over the place. Let's see. Can you see in there? Like I said, that was stupid. Alright, I got most of them in there. I don't think I'm going to need no extra liquid. I think just the liquid I got left in there. I tasted them and they're pretty dadgum good. Pull out them other bay leaves. I put 2 bay leaves in there. Let's see if I can get all that juice in there, or as much of it as I can. Yeah, making a mess. Hot doggone it. I have to clean that. I'm mentally restraining myself from going to grab a washcloth and cleaning that mess up. All right, and as you can see, we got, or at least I hope you can see, we got about that much beans. I'm not sure how good that's coming out. Go ahead and put the lid on there. And I can't stop myself. I gotta clean that mess up. And I don't have a washcloth. Let me reach back in my little cabinet and get one. Should have said I didn't have one handy. Clean all that up before it dries. Don't want no dadgum dried mess on my. Okay, I'll have to go throw that thing in the washing machine because I just used it on my floor. All right. Let's make sure the settings are on low. Seem to be working pretty good. Hopefully it wasn't too much liquid. Like I said, I haven't done this before, so I'm just guessing how long I need to let this go. Let's check it. Let me see what we got. Oh yeah, nice and creamy. Well, like that. I'm gonna pour that back in the pot. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Perfect. Oh yeah, that juiced them up nice. Probably could have gone a little less, but like I said, it's the first time I learned from my mistakes. Won't be the last time I make this kind of stuff, because like I said, I really love Mexican food. Let me get something. Oh, I think this little wood spoon. It kind of made them a little too much liquid. Yeah, they're a little too liquidy, but it'll still work. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that crock pot back on, and while that other stuff's cooking, since that needs to be reheated anyway, and see if I can't cook some of that liquid out. Let me taste that. Oh. Oh my God, that got a good flavor. All right, well, I'm gonna do what I said, and when everything comes together, we'll be back. Okay, while I was doing all that, I didn't realize how much time had passed, and I cooked my rice about 8 minutes more than I wanted to. So I've got the fire turned off already. Let's take a look and see what we got here. Oh my God. Look at that steamy red goodness. Yeah, it was starting to stick a little on the bottom. I caught it just in time. We'll just fluff that up a little bit like this. Look at that. I probably put a little too much onion again, but Yeah, I think I caught that just in time. It was starting to stick to the bottom. That would not have been a good thing. See if I can stir it around and unstick it without splashing it over everywhere. And success. Alrighty. Let me go ahead and put that like that, like that. Okay. And you on the top. Look at that. Don't that a pretty picture? Should we? I think we should. The little tasting spoon. I say little, but let's take a little sample of that. Try, hopefully we don't burn our tongue off. Oh my God. Well, for my preference, I probably could have added a little salt. It's got a nice little backburn, kind of like those beans. Just everything I got today is going to be a little bit on the Papa Sweat side. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cover that back up till that meat's done. We got a minute left on the meat. Well, about 2 minutes. Then we're going to have to get our tarts all cooked up. And with a tart, all I do is I got a little, let me show you. I got this little cast iron here. Might as well go ahead and, get it warming up. That stuff got a pepper to it. Maybe I should have took them seeds out, that serrano. But it's still edible. But it's gonna pop a sweat. I throw a tart in there and I just kind of spin it around with my hand. When it starts spinning really, really nicely, flip it over, spin it, do the other side. But we'll come back to that. Let me go set everything up to get that meat out there. Well, okay. Well, it seems like today is a day for me messing up. Made my dang beans too runny. And when I went to get my tarts, I thought I had some small fajita size ones, and all I got is these big burrito size. I had to use my grill skillet. The meat was cooked to 152. 148 is the recommended temperature. I've let it sit a while. We're going to go ahead and chop that up. Oh yeah, still nice and juicy. Oh yeah. This one seems to have a lot of fat on it. Let's see if I can't get some of that fat off of there. I don't need all that. I'm fat enough. I don't need extra fat. I'm gonna just cut the fatty in. Yeah, get all that out of there. Now I am gonna cut that up a little more than that. There we go. I cooked 2 of them. I probably only needed 1. That's gonna be a lot of meat. Well, I just have one for supper. All right. We getting there, folks. We getting there. Give that a good chop. Break it up. I like to use a cleaver for everything. I grew up watching Yan Can cook, and that's what he used, so I'll just pretty much always use the cleaver for cutting things up. Cut it up a bit fine there. I don't want no really big chunks. And it's fat. Don't want that. That's fat. Don't want that. Don't want that. More fat. Don't want that. Are you fat? Yep. Don't want that. More fat. Don't want that. Okay. That looks about right. I don't know if I'm going to be able to eat all that, but I got my tortilla in there. Go ahead and wash my knife. It's a stainless steel knife, and you don't want to leave stuff on there because it will rust. Where's my towel? I'm sorry, I said stainless steel. It's a carbon steel knife. You don't want to leave stuff on that because that'll rust. Stainless don't rust. Or at least it's not supposed to. All right. Let's see, what else? Put this right here. Okay, I was hoping to let them beans cook, thicken up a bit, but they're not going to do it. So I'm just going to take some of them, smear them on here. Yeah, they came out a lot more watery than they should have. My bad. Now give me another spoon and give me some of that rice. Yep. Nope, can't do it. Gonna burn my dang on fingers off. Put me a couple of spoons of rice on there like that. Now let's toss in the meat. See that? I'll roll them up if I can. Hopefully them beans ain't gonna drip all over the dadgum place, but I'm feared they will. Cause I didn't do that quite right. I never done it before, so you know it's a learning curve. Fold that up. That almost looks like a chimichanga. I bet you if I had some oil, I'd turn it into one too. Alright, well, I got the thing made. I'm going to head over to that table, and I'll see you over there. Okay, we're at the table. We're about to try this bad boy and see what it tastes like. Oh my God. Folks, this is delicious. I thought it was going to be too peppery, and maybe it will after the bite goes down. It would have been a little bit better if the beans were thicker, but they got a good flavor. Everything does. Well, y'all know what time it is. I got a whole taco to eat, or burrito if you want to call it that. So, see y'all next time on Sky's Cajun Kitchen.